Good afternoon, children. Today we will start with the topic of grammar, subject-verb agreement. So the lesson says subject-verb agreement. So what do you mean by that? To understand this, let us take a few examples. I am driving. You are driving. He is driving. Now in the first sentence, I is the first person. I is the first person. Now here you, second person, and he, third person. So we see that I, you, he. These are three different persons. Now what happens to the verb? So if we look at the verb in the first sentence, in the first example, verb is am. Verb is am. In the second example, verb is are. And in the third example, the verb is. So even though the word driving is a verb, but if you look at the verb which is immediately after the subject, what do you see? You see that the verb changes. And why does the verb changes? The verb changes as the person of the subject, changes. So as the person changes from first person to second person to third person, the verb also changes accordingly. So now let us look at another set of examples. He likes apple. So here we are talking about just one person. We are talking about just one person or one boy. In second example, you can see they like apples. Now we are talking about a lot of them, not just one boy, a lot of them. We have a couple number of children and we are talking about all of them. Then we say they like apples. Now here if you look at the verb, again the verb changes with he. With he we have likes, whereas with they we use like. So what is he? He is singular. So we are talking about one boy. What is they? They is plural and the plural form. So as the subject changes from singular to plural, the verb changes accordingly. So what does this show? So this shows that as the subject changes from first person to second person to third person, or as the subject changes from singular form to plural, singular to plural form, the verb also has to change accordingly, and this is what we call subject verb agreement. So let us first understand how to use verb in sentences with multiple nouns. Let us say if you have a sentence like this: is your mom and dad at home? Or are your mom and dad at home? No. It is a great confusion whether it's going to be is or are, because here we are talking about mom and dad. So we are talking about two nouns. So there are multiple nouns in same sentence. So what should be the verb? The verb should be the singular form or plural form. So let us understand how do we use verbs with multiple nouns. So these are set of rules. Let us see. So the first rule is multiple singular nouns joined by and it takes plural verb. So let us take an example. Mom and dad are going to the market. So here mom and dad is a singular noun. Dad again is mom is a singular noun, dad again is a singular noun. Both of these are joined by and so therefore the verb that we are going to use is the plural form of the verb. So singular form would have been is or am. The plural form is are. So therefore we have used the plural form in this case. So let's take another example to understand. You and he were playing football. Now see here, you again is a singular form. Both of them are joined by and. Therefore the verb which has been used is the plural form of the verb. It is the plural form of the verb. So we see multiple singular nouns joined by and takes plural verb. So now next rule. Two nouns together represent one idea and it takes singular verb. Two nouns together represent one idea and it takes singular verb. So now this is interesting. Now how do we know whether it is representing one idea or multiple ideas? How we will come to know this? So let us look at this example. My mother and my friend have come. My mother and friend has come. So here I am talking about two. Now in this sentence, here I am talking about two different persons. They are two nouns, mother and friend. Now when I am saying my mother and my friend, that means they are two different persons that I am talking about. So it is as good as two singular nouns joined by and therefore in this case we will use the plural verb. So this is what we learned in the previous rule. But if we say my mother and friend has come, so what does this mean? This means that my mother is the same person whom I am also referring as a friend. So that means she is a mother come friend. She is a mother come friend to me. So when I say my mother and friend, I am basically referring to the same person. She is my mother and I am also referring her as my friend. So my mother and friend has come. Now do you understand the difference? In the first sentence, mother and friend, they are referring to two different people. And in the second sentence, I am trying to say the same person is my mother as well as friend. So therefore, in the first case, two nouns are representing two different people. And in the second example, two nouns together represent the same person. That means two nouns together represent one idea. And that is why we have used singular verb. So let us take one more example. The singer and lyricist are here. The singer and lyricist is here. Let's take the first sentence. What does this mean? The singer. So we are talking about a specific singer again. And the specific lyricist. Both of them joined by and. And so we are talking about two different people. So here the verb would be plural if we say that the singer and lyricist. That means the same person. The singer and that means the same person is the singer as well as lyricist. So he is singer and lyricist as well. And in that case, verb would be singular. In that case, the verb would be singular. So please understand the difference very well, because sometimes in your correction, omission kind of questions, you often get these types of fill in the blanks. Now, next. If you have singular subject with words joined by with as well as, the verb will be singular verb. Singular subject with words joined by with as well as, it will take singular verb. Now, in this case also we have singular verbs. Let's take example. The old man with a heavy box is coming. So here the old man. So this man is one subject. He has heavy box. So box again is another subject, and both of these are joined by with. So if you actually have subjects, or we can say if we actually have words joined by with or as well as, in that case we use singular verb, because we are basically referring the old man in this case. So it's not that the heavy box are coming. It's like the old man with the heavy box. So heavy box is also a part of an old man. So overall it is a singular subject. So therefore it is a singular verb is. So let's take another example. Physics as well as chemistry is an interesting subject. So even though we are talking about two different subjects here, physics and chemistry, but we have used as well as to connect these two subjects. Now, in case I would have written it like this: physics and chemistry. Physics and chemistry are interesting subjects. So in this case it would have been like this: two singular nouns connected by and. Therefore we will use a plural verb. But here the moment we connect them using as well as, together they act as a singular entity. So physics as well as chemistry is an interesting subject. So you see, these are very minute things, but they are worth noticing. Let us take next rule. Verb must agree with the proper subject, not with the noun near it. Verb must agree with the proper subject, not with the noun near it. Now, in a sentence, it is very important that you identify the subject correctly, because sometimes in a single sentence you have multiple nouns, and as a result you get confused which is the proper subject. Now, you always remember that the verb must agree with the proper subject and not with the noun near it. Let's look at this example and then understand. The price of the books has increased. So here we have two nouns. One is price and the other is books. So now if you look at the verb, which noun is nearer to it? Books is nearer to it, and books is a plural noun. So in that case the verb should have been plural. But that's not the case. The verb has to agree with the proper subject, and in this sentence the proper subject is the price. Why? Because here we are talking about the price. We are talking about the price of the books and not about the books. And for price we will use a singular verb. So therefore the verb has to be in agreement with the proper subject, and it has nothing to do with which noun is nearer to it. Let us look at one more example. Let us take one more. The quantity of tea, coffee and juice, or tea and juice, is deteriorating in this hotel. So here if you see tea, coffee and juice, these are singular nouns. These are singular nouns which are connected by and. So for such an arrangement we always use plural verb. But here we are using singular verb. Why? Because in this case we are talking about quality. We are talking about quality. So tea, coffee and juice is not the proper subject. Tea, coffee is not the proper subject in this sentence. In this sentence the proper subject is quality. So because we are talking about the quality of tea, coffee and juice. So with quality we will make use of singular verb. We will make use of singular verb. And so the verb is in an arrangement with the proper subject quality. But if you have to make statement like tea, coffee and juice are good in this hotel. So do you understand the difference? Here in this case your subject is tea, coffee and juice. That is singular subjects or singular nouns connected by and. Therefore in this case we will use are. So a plural verb. So it depends on the sentence formation that whether your verb will be singular or plural. So you always remember that the verb must agree with the proper subject. So these were the few set of rules for subject verb agreement, children. Hope you understood. Thank you. Have a good day.